letting you in. Take a look at you and start to lose my balance. What am I falling into? This feels like something new. I've seen a lot of views, but they were nothing like this. The way you do what you do, I think you're something brand new.
In this video, we're going to be doing you a quick walkthrough of a latest build from Tiny Boat Nation Southeast. This is a 1754 G3. So the customer brought us this boat down to our Southeast store here in Georgia and had a few little things done to it, but it was mainly stock. We left the original bow plate and the angled part of the bow plate. We've added some custom turf. As you can see, it is a gorgeous dark green with black gator skin. Custom logo for our customer up here. We've also got a bump board back there on the livewell. Customer chose to run a Garmin Force on this. We're running a 24-volt setup. We'll show you all the batteries here in just a minute. But also up front, we've got our Tiny Boat Nation double graph mount, and we've got two Garmin 93 SVs up here. We've got one running our live scope and the other one running a down scan right now. And we've also got our traditional 4-inch recessed foot tray, which works perfect for this Garmin Force, and it fits just perfectly flush with the deck right here. So in this first hatch up here, this is a big, I think it's like a 36 by 30 hatch. We installed the pedestal mount up top, and you can see on the back it's got a reinforcement plate. We've got a lot of space in here for tackle storage. Like literally, I sat in this thing the other day, it's that big. But up front, we're running all of our batteries for this boat. We've got a 24-volt 60 amp hour powerhouse right here. This one is just for the trolling motor. We've also got over here our 16-volt battery that is dedicated for all of the graphs and electronics on this boat. We're running 3 graphs total. They're all Garmin 93 SVs, and we're also running a networking box for all of them, plus a live scope and a live scope black box. And that dedicated system will run all of that with clean 16-volt power. And then over here, we've got a smaller 12-volt 60 amp hour battery, which is going to power all of our lights, like our flashlight, accent lighting, our bilge pump, live well timer, and all that kind of good stuff. Kind of out of the way, we put the 12-volt on-off switch over here, so this powers the whole 12-volt system. We've got our circuit breaker, 60 amp circuit breaker for our trolling motor. You can get those on our website. This fuse block over here and this battery on-off switch is dedicated to just everything on the 16-volt system. So we run systems like this where you got a 12-volt system in the boat and a 16-volt system. We like to run them completely separate. So we got a fuse block for all the 12-volt stuff in another compartment, which we'll show you in a minute, but all the 16-volt stuff is right here. And this is where your black box, your networking box, and all the Garmin head units will run off of this fuse block right here. So tucked back behind all of these batteries, I've got a dedicated charger for each individual battery. You've got your 16-volt onboard charger here, 24-volt charger, and a 12-volt charger. The great thing about Powerhouse is not only do you get all these chargers and stuff that are dedicated for each individual battery voltage, also get that awesome 15-year warranty and the really cool app, which we've been playing with all day so that we can see how much power each one of our accessories is pulling, and we can also keep an eye on our battery voltage and battery levels as well. So up next, we've got our next hatch back. It's like a 16 by 36 inch size. This is just another tackle storage place, but we also use this compartment to run all of our wiring up into the next compartment for your 12-volt system, and then we've got our 12-volt fuse block back here. So we've got a nice spacious cockpit right here that you can get up, walk around. You can also store a cooler in here if you wanted, but we've done some really cool new design ideas on this. So up here, we've made one giant kick-out panel that is removable by these screws right here, and you can take this whole entire panel out to access all of your wiring back behind it and then reinstall it when you're done. Over here on this side, we've got our Flow-rite live well timer and live well pump control along with the valve. Over here, we've got pass-through wiring for our Garmin head unit up here. And then we've got 2 of our mini switch panels over here. These are the mini 3-switch panels. You can find these on our website along with the voltmeters, but this voltmeter has 2 USB ports built into it, and then we've got a switch for all of our electronic stuff that is running off the 12-volt system. So along the inside of the gunnel rails, we're running 16-foot long flashlight accent lighting there. We've also got lights inside the compartment so that you can light those up at night, as well as your front and rear nav light and dual bilge pumps, one manual and one auto. Then up top, we added this new product in that we've been working with. This is a Railblazer rail. This stuff kind of comes from the kayak world, but it's starting to make its way into the bass fishing and boating world a lot more. We actually custom cut this rail down so that you could mount a graph on here, You can put plier holders, cup holders, whatever you want, and you can slide it wherever you want. So this was actually a 39-inch rail, and I was able to cut it down and mount it into the inside of this compartment right here. Getting some playtime here with the Garmin remote. I will also say that if you've never used a Garmin Force or any of these trolling motors that have a remote like this is a gigantic remote. Like, this thing's the size of a TV remote. The last one we used on a Minn Kota Tarova was a lot smaller and a lot more compact. I actually like that a little bit better. We'll kick this thing on up in a high gear and see what this boat does with just a 24-volt Garmin Force on it. It was about 4.1 miles an hour is what it likes to run full speed. Now, how much more we would get with a 36-volt system, I don't know. I've never tried it before. But it does do really cool donuts. You getting dizzy yet? This boat has two 8-foot-long rod lockers. Got one on this side, one on the other side. We'll pop this open so you can take a look inside. Now, in order for us to fit two in this boat, we had to go with a smaller opening size. So these are only 8-inch by 48-inch lids, but they're still a full 8-inch long, and you can fit probably about 8 to 10 rods in each one. And the other one over here, we've currently got slap full of life jackets and all that kind of fun stuff. But this one also goes a full 8 feet all the way to the front of the boat. And we've got our classic TBNation live well. This is an 18-gallon live well, all plumbed with a full Flow-rite system. This thing does fill, recirculate, and empty all on its own with that Flow-rite premium live well kit, which you can also find on our website at TBNation.net. I've got it filling right now, but with a quick pull of this valve, I'm now emptying the live well out the side of the boat. We've got another pedestal mount back here, and then this is our big battery hatch, but I can't show you what's in there right now because we're out here doing some top secret battery testing for something that was hopefully going to come to market soon. But this boat is being pushed by a Elco EP20. This customer supplied this for us, and it's actually done really, really well on this boat. With me and Ryan and a fully built boat, we were able to get 8.5 miles an hour with just me, and with both of us in the boat, we were pushing about 8.1, 8.2 as our max speed. So up here, we've got a power port that runs to all of our Powerhouse lithium batteries, and this is a single port where you just take one extension cord, plug this in, and all three of our batteries will charge all at once. It's one of my favorite features of this boat. So for me, not being a tournament fisherman, my opinion is I actually really like the way that the boat's laid out. It's got a lot of storage in it, which I can appreciate. Not so sure that I personally would need room for all of the rods either. Most of the time when I'm going out, I lay them out on the deck and then I take them off when I get back to the house. But I could definitely see this as something to where if you were one of those guys that has a lot of rods and you want a place to store them in the boat and not have to take them out, this is the layout you were looking for. It's perfect for that. So as far as changes go, for me, I'm not a big fan of the recessed foot control. I feel very off balance when I'm trying to put my foot down on it. Now, if I was wearing shoes and I was leaning up against a pedestal, I'd probably be different, but just standing up there operating it, I'd much rather run the remote. But that's just me, that's my personal opinion. Ryan actually prefers the foot pedal over the remote. I'm just a remote guy. I mean, one of my favorite things from a builders and user type standpoint is the way we did this cockpit switch panel to where it's really, really easy to take off, and there's a ton of room to shove all of your wiring and everything back behind this panel. You just 12 screws, you pull the whole thing out. You can add to this later on down the road. You can access your wiring if you need to fix something later on, and then just put it back in, 12 screws, and you're done. Also, being able to include a rail system in here on a boat that doesn't normally come with a rail is pretty nice. So you have that track system that you can add a bunch of accessories to. I like that. I also like the compartment layout. I probably would have even done an even bigger lid than this one and not had the smaller compartment up here. I like having just one big lid where I can get to everything and things not being compartmentalized, really. That's just my personal opinion, but I love the color. We were able to match the inside with the Monster liner that we used for the original G3, kind of tannish brown that's on the outside, so that turned out really good. I love the color. I love the turf. The turf is amazing. Probably one of the coolest turf jobs I think that we've done to date. I love the alligator skin and the colors. And like Ryan was saying, it's standing in direct sunlight. You can feel like it's warm, but it's not like overbearing to where you feel like you need to like go cool your feet off or put some shoes on. Like, we've been walking around barefoot this whole time, no problem. And I'm still learning about all the graphs and stuff, but I really do like having the graph in the back where I can just log in and see exactly what he's seeing up front on the live scope. And every time he moves it, I can see exactly what he's looking at back here. So that's a pretty cool feature as well that I'm not really used to because I don't use them a whole lot. I don't do a whole lot of bass fishing, so live scope doesn't do me a whole lot of good. So if you like the layout of this 17-foot boat and you think it's something that we should offer for sale on the website, let us know down in the comment section. If we get enough interest, we may put this together as a kit that you can buy right off the website. Here. And we've got that hawk can be just a little bit louder.